Hey guys, this is Jay Callum or JAYONBOXING here with predictions for the Artur Beterbiev versus Callum Smith card. And as always, these are just my takes. Of course, your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. And before we get started, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe, that like button, the share button, all that stuff. Greatly appreciate it. Anytime it does help, appreciate it all. Now, a little bit of show info here. This card will be headlined by Beterbiev versus Callum Smith, as mentioned, at the Center VIDEOTRON in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, airing live on ESPN in the States in the light heavyweight division, with Beterbiev's IBF, WBC, and WBO 175-pound titles on the line. In the featured fights, we'll also see 118-pound titleist Jason Moloney defending against SAUL SANCHEZ, as well as Christian Mbilli taking on Rohan Mudak at 168 pounds. So, solid enough card here with a very fun main event that we have helping start out 2024. On the undercard, we have super middleweight contender Christian Mbilli looking to stay busy, and a title fight at bantamweight between titleist Moloney, as mentioned, taking on the hard-hitting Saul SANCHEZ. Could be interesting if SANCHEZ can get some of those harder shots home. And of course, in the main event, KO artiste Artur Beterbiev defending 3 straps at 175 pounds against former super middleweight world champion Callum Smith, who also can bang a bit himself. Definitely an interesting fight in my opinion. Does Beterbiev keep rolling, or does Smith become a two-weight champion? Any upsets on the card? Let's get into the show and break them down. And as we do, we'll start off with the main event here. For Beterbiev to win, I think he was going to want to make sure to use the left hand well. He obviously does. It's a lead hand because he is an orthodox fighter, but he'll need to do it in this contest, in my opinion. He needs to vary it up as well by doubling it up with the jab and kind of finding his way inside against the much longer reach of Smith, who has about 5 inches on him. Throwing that backhand first too often simply creates too many openings or opportunities for Smith. He'll need to limit that, so instead work that lead hand. I would also say Beterbiev needs to build into the fight a bit more slowly, more methodically than usual. Likes to come out of the gates pretty hot in most instances. He could use maybe a round or two to get going here. He's an older fighter and shouldn't risk burning out too quickly against a relatively well-schooled Smith. Just not a great look. Beterbiev doesn't take a whole lot of punishment and usually the one on the front foot, so he doesn't have to worry so much about absorbing all of those kind of wears and tears that some might. But the man is still effectively going to be 39 years old on the fight night, so aging happens very quickly in boxing. He'll want to avoid that. Allow your left jab as well as that kind of quick left hook you like to throw on the inside to get the scoring done, and build into the fight as you get closer and start ripping in those right hands. Now, switching over to Smith, I think Beterbiev is, one of those fighters that likes to come forward naturally. Smith can't let him bully him back, however, but he can use that aggression to his advantage. And that means walking him into that long right hand. That right hand that might get there before Beterbiev is able to close the gap. Smith can keep that shot straight and down the middle as Beterbiev lunges in, because he will sometimes get a bit over anxious, and Smith can have a shot like that landing ultimately clips Beterbiev and maybe is a shot he doesn't see coming. And we have to remember that Beterbiev has been stunned and even dropped in the past against fighters that don't necessarily punch as hard as Smith, so that certainly has to be on our minds. That longer, straighter shot can also help Smith stay off the ropes, and that's a must. If Beterbiev pins you down, it's a shootout and you've lost your reach, the biggest advantage that you have. Don't give him that edge. Use that jab to kind of create the distance, circle, move out of range, set the traps for when he is coming in and falling in and lunging in to those bigger blows, but do it on your terms by setting that distance and keeping it. Now, perhaps to some, this is a weirdly tough one to me. I think most are leaning towards Beterbiev, and I get that. However, I do like Smith in a bit of an early year upset. The underrated power of Smith will keep Beterbiev honest as he tries to come in early, and Smith will be poised and sharp as he needs to be in this fight, looking to land that big right hand. Smith also has that left hook that can help set up the right hand and has some power of its own and can maybe catch Beterbiev as he comes in with that shot as well. Ultimately, the left and the right catch Beterbiev too often and drop him in those later frames, stopping him and the contest maybe just before those championship frames. Winner, Callum Smith via late fight stoppage. Now, going into the co-featured fight here, starting off with the champion Moloney, I think the setup jab and the straight backhand shot will serve you well if you're Moloney because of the style SANCHEZ implements. You both have about the same reach, but you use it a bit more in terms of trying to create distance, while SANCHEZ typically tries to hook in his power shots. Use that to your advantage by getting there with a more straight, direct target. Going straight down the middle will mean your shots might be able to beat him to the punch consistently so that your scoring has more of an impact. And that also leads to my other belief, which is that trading those hooking shots doesn't favor Moloney. If SANCHEZ catches you, it's with those hooks, so So instead, keep it simple and down the middle. As the rounds progress, you can open up more of the arsenal and use that movement and timing to break him down and then land some of those hooks later on. But at least initially, keep the shot straight to the point, and I think you have your best chance. And for Sanchez here, of course, Moloney uses good movement, tries to keep distance, tries to use those little angles and subtle shifts. You have to avoid letting that happen by moving forward, pressing, and getting after him. But you can't chase, you have to cut off the ring. Force Moloney back into a straight line more by cutting off those exits, by just taking those side steps and really trying to usher him into those more threatening positions, but kind of force him back. This might push Moloney back enough that he's in the ropes and you can really get your work done. And when you close that distance and get closer, that's when those hooks will do the trick. Your hooks will really start to land with more bad intentions once you catch him on the ropes and can kind of catch him a bit more flush. Might be enough to win this contest if you can do it consistently enough. And in terms of my pick here, while Sanchez has a legit puncher's chance, I think the movement and more polished work of Moloney will get the job done. The first few rounds will be really the test for Moloney, but if he gets through those relatively unscathed, I think he warms up, starts tagging Sanchez down the middle, picks up enough points and steals some of those maybe closer rounds to bag the victory. Winner, Jason Moloney via unanimous decision. And in terms of the quick pick here, we have Christian Mbilli taking on Rohan Mudak as mentioned at 168 pounds. I think the winner here is Christian Mbilli via mid-fight stoppage. Mudak can bang a bit, but that might not favor him against Mbilli, who can definitely come forward and bang himself, but maybe with a bit more nuance. I think Mbilli pushes him back, wins the exchanges, and drops his man heavy in those middle frames to end it. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, you can see them here, and quite frankly, the odd that kind of jumps out to me the most is perhaps the over-under in the Beterbiev versus Smith encounter. Now, granted, I'm picking Smith to win here, so of course, a plus 300 underdog is very attractive to me as well, but I certainly understand, well, not everyone is going to trust that line. The over-under, however, is an interesting one because you're basically getting even money at about the 8.5 round mark in most books that I've found. Pretty decent line. Again, it just kind of depends on how quickly you think either man gets the job done. And I can see this fight definitely ending early. You're getting even money for that kind of pick. That certainly seems an attractive option to me as well, but in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is zeros across the board, new year of course, but let me know your thoughts, your bets, your picks, all that good stuff down in the comments. And of course, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and check out the socials here. Be sure to visit JAYONBOXING.com for schedule, results, betting odds, grades, rankings, and more. And as always, until next time.